Hi guys, so we're going to be talking about the Neptune lines in astrocartography. It is one of the most mystifying and intriguing places to explore. It can carry a deep sense of allure and confusion, as the Neptune lines in astrology relates to illusion, mystery, and escapism. So areas near the Neptune line or on the Neptune line are really great for creatives because Neptune really taps into the spiritual realm. And if you guys study esoteric knowledge, everything that manifests in the physical realm first has to manifest in the spiritual realm. So this is a line of creation. It is great if you have so many amazing ideas or want to tap into an unlimited source of creative potential. With Neptunian energy, we have to remember that it is very elusive and foggy. So these lines are not great if you struggle with addiction, if you have any gambling or addict tendencies. It is best to stay away from these lines because it can often create a very foggy and elusive energy, meaning that you will literally lose yourself if you are not grounded in reality. It's also really good if you're around people who really excel in the physical realm, because some people, for example, like me, are highly spiritual, highly intuitive, but the downside of that is that we can really struggle with staying present here in reality because there can be times where we're off in fantasy land. The key to mastering Neptunian energy is not only to practice grounding into physical reality, but also to trusting your intuition and managing a bit and accepting a bit of uncertainty. Because Neptune lines is all about the ebb and flow. The key of the sign is to trust and surrender. And if you are a very rigid person, it may take time for you to master the energy in this location. Now let's talk about what Neptune lines represent in astrology. So Neptune symbolizes dreams, illusions, spirituality, and creativity. It governs our intuition, idealism, connection to the subconscious. Neptune is a planet that rules the unseen. So Neptune pulls us towards exploration of deeper realms of consciousness, spirituality, and artistic expression. My personal experience living on my Neptune line, it was 2016 and I had just moved to Dallas, Texas, which is on my Neptune line with my best friend at the time. We're no longer in speaking terms, but that's okay. And it's so funny how Neptune deals with fantasy, illusion, and addiction because my best friend and her boyfriend is actually a huge addict, like selling drugs type of addict. And I didn't know until I Googled him and I freaked out, but that's like a story for another time. And this line can really blur fantasy from reality if you are not a spiritual person. It definitely will not make sense and you will be extremely lost. For me at that time in 2016, I really did need to go through it because I was just going with the flow at that point of my life. And I feel like it will really spit you out. The Neptune line will really drive you away if you aren't in tune with the lessons that it's bringing to you spiritually. I personally would not recommend anyone moving here if you are not a creative, if you are not a spiritual person, because you are going to get lost and it's just not worth it. Back then, it was great, but now in my life as an astrologer and as a practicing spiritualist, I would definitely move to a Neptune line to harness that energy. But otherwise, if you guys have no purpose in utilizing the Neptunian energy, it's just not worth it. It is just not worth it. Always go to a Neptune line if you are working with spirits, if you have a spiritual business, if you are a psychic medium, if you are in psychic work, if you're in creative work, if you're an artist, if you're trying to be the next Bad Bunny, go on your Neptune line because you will get a lot of creative ideas to harness that energy in order to manifest it into physical reality.